ties and pearls, suspenders and skirts. When you think of these pieces, you may see a certain person in your mind. Maybe you're reminded of your father's suits he would wear when heading to work. Or maybe a fashion-forward aunt who was always in front of the latest trends. Fashion is now embracing a much more fluid approach.
I have something I'd like to say.
You heard Sid the Style Kid?
Designers and brands are now creating more collections with pieces without gender assignments and with less guidelines as to who can wear what. But is there a limit to how fluid fashion can be? And are there consequences for leaving behind generational standards? Or are we simply witnessing a new era of trend-setting self-expression that opens up brilliant possibilities?
Oversized silhouettes, neutral colors, and versatile pieces that can be styled by anyone are increasingly entering the spotlight. This style shift reflects a broader cultural movement toward inclusivity, where clothing is seen less as a marker of gender and more as a means of individual self-expression. This new wave of unisex fashion and style can be seen among celebrities like A$AP Rocky, who adds unique and surprising elements to his outfits that some might consider outside of the confines of traditional masculine attire. We can also look to model Wisdom K as an example of someone who incorporates skirts, dresses, or fitted blouses into his wardrobe. Since emerging into the modeling scene, he's worked with numerous labels like Dior, Fendi, and Ralph Lauren. But Wisdom stays close to mainstream culture despite his proximity to luxury. He's developed a following on TikTok for his creativity going viral or creating high fashion outfits based on Marvel characters. Wisdom is an example of someone who is able to flow between styles, at times offering a more traditional presentation and other times throwing convention to the wind. There's also designers like Thom Browne, who often styles men and women in his signature pleated skirts. NBA point guard Russell Westbrook wore Thom Browne to the 2022 Met Gala for a reason that most style icons consider of the utmost importance. It gave him the swagger he needed.
Necessary swagger can take precedence over gender roles in women's fashion, as well as we can be seen being styled in menswear, from formal outfits like those at the Spring 2025 YSL runway show, or Fear of God. And we can always look to Janelle Monáe for inspiration, as she effortlessly utilizes both masculine and feminine aesthetics. In 2020, Harry Styles borrowed a page from his avant-garde rock predecessors and made a fresh statement in the world of modern mainstream pop. He wore a dress for the cover of the Vogue magazine as a way to challenge traditional gender norms. Harry has stated that he believes clothing should not be limited by gender, and that he enjoys wearing whatever he feels comfortable in. Commentator Candace Owens declared Harry's Vogue cover to be an attack on the manly man. For Candace, clothing traditionally seen as feminine on a man's body indicates that the man in the dress isn't strong. So, while some might not be on board, we can still see that overall, the practice of challenging gender norms has become more prominent. There are entire clothing lines designed for gender neutrality. Peu de le Pieux, thank you, defines itself as gender-neutral clothing with a non-binary fit. Committed to challenging conventions, the fashion brand has built for bodies, not gender, as its slogan, with self-expression and authenticity as key values. Years after its creation, PDL developed a partnership with Urban Outfitters, signaling a new era for gender-neutral clothing in mainstream clothing spaces, with style and individuality at the forefront.
Now, we're going to chat with stylist, model, and fashion influencer Jalen Gunter to get his opinions on unisex styling. Jalen works in the fashion world out of New York City, Philadelphia, and DC. He strives to lead with authenticity while remaining dedicated to the art, experimentation, and inspiration while pushing the boundaries of the norm.
Let's chat.
So, man, look, I'm looking forward to this for a minute because for real, I'm a fan of your work, the style, you know what I'm saying? Respect, fly guy to a fly guy.
I got to fly up for sure, for sure.
So I do want to start by asking, man, you being, you know, a creative stylist, how do you integrate unisex fashion and style into what you do?
Oh yeah, man. I love that question. I think it definitely happened gradually. Everybody's fashion kind of evolves over time, you know, eventually find what we like. But I think I started to see gender norms of what, you know, is expected to wear, you know, what people are used to seeing men wear, used to seeing women wear. I just eventually got to a point where I was like, man, I just like that. Like, I like how that looks. And so I got really dedicated to that, just that art of what do I like? And just be taking away that, you know, extra layer of, oh, this is what a man should wear. This is what, like, that should mindset is, I don't know where that came from.
Right.
We could talk about the political, you know, society and all that good stuff. But I think just, especially as a creative, you can't really put those limitations on yourself. If I see something, if I like it, I like it. We're trying to see what happens. Like, and I will say, there was like one pivotal moment. I remember I was at a thrift store, I saw the denim skirt. It was cool, bro, it was so cool. And then I remember thinking, man, guys can't wear that. And I left it. Yo, I still think about that skirt to this day, to this day. And so it was like the thought of, I'm never gonna let that happen again. Like, I'm not gonna let something cool pass me by just because of some, you know, some mentality that's not even mine for real. Like,
right.
Yeah, you know, I know what I like.
Was there something about the unisex styling, like specifically that you liked about it? Like for me, it was always, it might be cropped and at the waist it comes in, but then at the bottom it balloons out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was like, well, why can't I wear that?
I think they put so much more effort into like the shape of women's clothes. I really love shapes. And I think with women's clothes, it's so much easier to make shapes like this. Almost everything you see me wearing right now, this is all women's clothes. And so just the idea of like, yo, it's not really about the gender of it. It's like, look at it, how's this shit look? Yeah, you know, how the shapes it makes, you know?
And lastly about that, I would say the odd part about it, you go back to like 1950s fashion, like flap braids, maybe 60s as well. Men's, like their jackets were like bombers, they start up top. Original trousers for men back in the G was high-waisted. Their bomber jackets or their jackets were cropped.
Yeah.
So I don't know where it shifted to where that's only women, but
Tight.
that's not how it started.
You know what I'm saying? It's different. And I think that's just how society goes. Like, things are in and things are out. Things that kind of change, like what was seen as, you know, men's fashion switched. And I feel like, especially in the time that we're on now, some of those limitations are just out of the way. Like, we don't have to, you know, conform to just this simple idea of this is what men's fashion is or this is what women's fashion is. It can be so many different things.
How have you seen, like you being a creative stylist and really good at what you do, how have you seen the evolution of, you know, unisex styling being more at the forefront of being a thing?
Yeah, it's you know, you have high fashion, and then the high fashion eventually bleeds down to the stores and what, you know, what we conceptualize as mainstream, I guess. And so I just started seeing, especially in like the higher fashion, like that's it. They're getting rid of those gender norms. You know, you're having male models walking these luxurious, you know, skirts, and they're really kind of doing that duality.
YSL's last fashion runway was all the women were all them suits,
and it looks good.
Fire.
It looks fire. It's
fire.
Again, it's trend towards like people just becoming more open to whatever you wear. I think even it's so interesting, even being like, you know, an influencer and doing those things. I have a lot of people who they say they're inspired by me. I'm like, oh, really?
I was gonna ask.
People come to you like, people come to thing like they see me as a, I guess, inspiring figure. And sometimes I don't conceptualize that, but just the idea that there's so many young kids who just like all they have to go off of is what they've seen. And so then, you know, there comes me, I'm wearing skirts, I'm doing all these other things. It opens up a new world for them in a way. And they can see that, you know, like I can try anything.
But do you think that is gonna move more towards that they're gonna have like legitimately unisex styling, no more men and women?
I don't know, man. I think when I think about the idea of unraveling anything that's been so ingrained in society for so long, it's gonna be a long time until we see something like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Or like just being able to you don't even have to have a brick and mortar. You can be online and still do your thing. Like, so Entire Studios is a brand I really like a lot.
Yeah.
And they've got every piece that they put online has a man and woman in the same exact, everything on their website is a type of unisex, you know what I mean? So I love that. Who was it that you saw and really inspired you to get more into? Because I know who it was for me.
Yeah.
Who was it for you who got into unisex styling? You know what I mean?
I think so. I mean, it's a very basic answer. Everybody knows it. But it was around COVID, like when I started getting into fashion and all that stuff. TikTok was blowing up. Wisdom It was wisdom.
Really?
Yo, it was wisdom, man. That dude started putting on stuff that I had never even conceptualized a man wearing kind of thing. And get a little context to me. I'm from the South. So down South, it's just a little more rigid. Like, certain things are, this is how you do it and this how, And so basically once I started seeing that perspective or started seeing him kind of just put himself out there and just really being himself. Like it wasn't even like I'm trying to dress like a woman or I'm trying to dress like a man. Like this is what I like. And so I think that's what it was that inspired me, just the idea of I don't have to be constricted to a mindset about people around me. I can just be dedicated to the art of what I like. And I think just that mindset of you can just wear what you like, it was such a freeing concept. Like, yo, I can just wear, like, I don't know. Like it's so simple, but it's like you overlook it so many times. But yo, like that was so inspirational and so from then at that point, 2020, like I didn't really, like I saw that, but I don't think I really like felt that in me until as I started, getting more into fashion, trying new things. But eventually I was just like, hey man, it is. Like my closet is more women's clothes than women's clothes.
For me, it's also gonna sound like, pretty basic. It was Rocky, for sure. Yeah, it was Rocky.
Yo, similar though, same thing. Like, oh, he just started put on what he want, bro. That mindset, just the idea of like, yo, it's not even about just the clothes. It's about who's in the clothes, how you wear it, kind of.
You being somebody who obviously pulls it off. You fly in it. What do you say to people who actually do object men's wearing women's clothing or women's wearing men or unisex styling at all? You know what I'm saying? What do you say to people who are not with that?
100%. Nah, like I think everybody is entitled to their own opinion. For me, at least, I know this is personal. I just believe this for everybody, but you got to live your life for you. At the end of the day, like I don't think living for other people has helped anybody become happy at all. And so again, I think people are entitled to their opinion. If it's not for you, hey, that's okay. It's not for you. It's not, again, this isn't for everybody. I think that's where sometimes we struggle is we think one mindset should be overarching for everybody or that should be the norm for everybody. There's supposed to be some people who like rocking it like this and rocking it like that. I think the uniqueness and the variety in who people are, that's the beauty kind of. So the idea of changing who I am just because of the perception of others, that doesn't seem like it's gonna lead me to anything fun.
For sure. At the end of the day, bro, put on what you want to put on. If you object, you object. However you do it, you do it. But if you fly, you fly.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all there is to it, man.
And you are fly, my brother. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Keep doing your thing. I'm a fan. I'm going to keep looking out for your content. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to steal some fits. I'm going to steal some other deals in there.
I told you before this. I'm going to rob you for 100%. Watch out. There you go.
So look, man, thank you again for coming out to Fashion for the People. I'm definitely going to keep following you, but they need to follow you as well, man. So please let us know how, and let the people know how they can stay connected with you.
Got you. My name on all platforms is just Jalen T. Gunter. So JalenTGunter, Jalen T. Gunter, just to keep it simple for you. But yeah, man, follow me. I be posting fits. I just be talking all the time. So yeah, anybody new to the community, love you. Thank you. Appreciate the shot, brother.
Fire fits.
Yeah.
We'll definitely stay connected. Appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? You ready to try something new with your styling? Or do you want to stick to the classics? We believe that at the end of the day, the way you curate your look is up to you. Tradition certainly has its place, but when it becomes a constraint rather than a source of pride, should it still be preserved? There are often values and traits that we associate with specific articles of clothing. If we're bound by these traits to certain garments, what are the bounding dialogues are we creating? There's a discussion to be had, and your input is crucial. Thank you to Jalen for coming through and giving us his take. We want to hear your take as well. Fashion is evolving from different angles. We'll be exploring the why, and you can stay tapped in with us, so you stay tapped in with the culture.